It's Rob and Brent and my Reggie dude, and don't forget it also features Dawson too. We gonna give you all the dope reviews, but first we'll hit on all the movie news. Cha-ching, cha-ching, box office due. In between the news and the reviews, there's not a lot that we don't do, so turn the volume up, cause we coming through. Put your headphones on and tie your shoes. Jackman and Grant, we got all the views. We're like Brando in Godfather 2. We're gonna make a podcast you can't refuse. This is the Cinema Chat Podcast, and we know a lot about movies. Welcome back to the show, everyone. It's another episode of Cinema Chat Podcast with Rob and Brent and Reggie, featuring Dawson.
And Reggie.
I'm Brent.
Reggie.
And I'm featuring Dawson.
What did I say?
We're off to a good start.
Did I say something wrong, or did you just interrupt me? What happened there?
I interrupted.
Damn, dude. Did you forget how we do it? Like, it's like, just try. You thought that was whenever you came in and said, you say, I'm Reggie, instead of waiting for me to say, I'm Brent. And then, like, usually you're behind, so you were trying to get way ahead. Is that what was going on there?
Right, something like that. I know that there's a delay sometimes, so it's like, well, if I get ahead of the delay, then it'll be perfect.
Well, I'm Brent.
I'm Reggie.
And I'm featuring Dawson? We're doing this again? All right.
Yeah, well, Reggie kind of fucked it up, I think. So, it's Thanksgiving week. We're recording this on the night before Thanksgiving. Full transparency. Earlier today, I wasn't totally feeling doing this podcast tonight, but, we've done 287 weeks of this prior to this without missing. So I'm damn sure not going to miss now. And now that we're on here doing it, I don't know how you guys feel, but I feel a lot better about it than I did earlier today. Like, I've got the energy now that I didn't have earlier. And quite frankly,
and I'm really here for it.
There's a new drop for you, Reggie.
Okay.
One more time.
And I'm really here for it.
I'm really here for it. I'm here.
I'm really here for it.
I'm here for this show tonight. We're going to be reviewing Attack the Block, 2011 John Boyega film. But before we get there, the drill. I've got some questions to ask you on this glorious holiday week, and I expect some answers.
What did we watch this week? Let us give you a peek. We'll get to the news real soon. First, listen to this little tune. Give us the attention we seek while we tell you what we watched this week. Tell them, Rob. What did you see? Tell them. I want to know.
Reggie, what'd you watch this week?
Not a lot of anything, really. Nothing worthwhile talking about. I watched these movies. I Am Vengeance on Netflix. I'm going through a kind of a B-movie action flick phase. I watched Avengement, which stars Scott Adkins. And I don't know if it's COVID, like Stockholm Syndrome, but I might be becoming a fan of Scott Adkins.
He's got your ass right where he wants you.
Right. I think I watched just about every movie he's done that's on Netflix. I'm like, I wonder if Scott Adkins is on HBO Plus. So HBO Max. So I guess I'll be going there next. And then I watched Black 47, I think it is called. It's like a revenge movie, but in like colonial times, where this guy, his family gets wronged. He's like a deserter from the British Army. He's an Irish guy who's a deserter from the British Army. He goes home and basically just starts killing a bunch of people. And Hugo Weaving's in it. It was actually pretty good.
Right on. I know that you watched something else. There was a television show that's been on for like 15 years that just ended. Yeah.
Series finale of Supernatural last Thursday. I think a lot of people like in the fandom it's kind of mixed reviews. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a brilliant end to a really great series. Some people, you can't please everybody. I'll just say that.
I mean, the people that I saw seemed to think it was pretty good. So I know you were happy with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I know that you were looking forward to that. We actually moved the recording of the podcast last week so that you could watch it.
Yes.
So yeah, I know it was a big deal for you. Dawson, did you watch anything this week?
I really didn't. This week was pretty boring. I watched, the Chappelle Show was on Netflix for a couple days, so I was jamming on that, but that's gone now off of Netflix, but it's still on like HBO Max, but I probably won't watch it now just because. But yeah, I don't know. I just this week's been kind of weird. It's a short week for me. I feel like today's Friday, so yeah. I'll probably.
You put in the Twitter DM that you thought we had a watch party tonight.
Yeah, I kept thinking like, what are we watching tonight? Because I thought yesterday we recorded the show. I was just all messed up. I swear there was something I watched on Netflix. Let me pull Brent, you go. Let me pull my little Netflix watch. I'm almost positive I watched something.
I really did not watch anything this week. I watched some sports. The closest I got to watching a movie was Dawson and I played Until Dawn.
That's what we did, yeah.
Oh, I'm a robot. Hold on. Apologies to the listening audience. I don't know if that'll come through in the recording. My shit is all fucked up and I don't know what's causing it. And it started happening right before we started recording. So occasionally, we will go robot on my end and I have to do something to fix it. And it's happening maybe every 10 minutes or so. So I'll probably have to do that a few times in the show. But yeah, Dawson and I, Reggie, played Until Dawn on the PlayStation 5. It's a single player game, but we were able to play it through PlayStation has like a screen share thing where you could start a party, and like I started a party, Dawson came in and he was watching me play. But the cool thing is like I can virtually hand the controller over to him and he can play from his house with his controller. So it gives him control of my game. So it's
okay.
I would play for a little bit, and then I would let him play for a little bit. And what it is Until Dawn. It's a basically like a horror movie kind of deal, and it follows 8 characters, and you take turns playing each of the characters. So as the story goes, you'll control a different character in a different scene, and it's a decision based game. So you'll get to a point in the story, and it'll have you choose either like A or B. And then the story branches off based on your decisions. So
like choose your own adventure.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a choose your own adventure game. And then it has some quick time actions in it. So like you're running away, you have to hit the X button and then the square button and then the triangle. You got to hit the buttons whenever they pop up. It was kind of cool. Probably the coolest thing about it though was just the fact that sort of like the watch parties in Discord, like, it's essentially like Dawson flew to Kentucky and was sitting on the couch next to me. And I'm just like, here, play for a little bit.
Yeah.
Here's the controller. You play now. So it was pretty cool. It limits you to an hour but then you just have to restart it. So I think the reason Dawson, I was thinking about, I think the reason that they do it is so that you can't start your game and then hand it over to your buddy for like 8 hours while you go to work.
Right.
So someone has to be there to basically say, yeah, it's cool if you keep playing. And I think I'm roboting again. One of you say something.
You are roboting.
Dude, I don't know what's going on. All right.
That's a lot of fun. So I did, are you done? Sorry, I pulled up my Netflix queue.
Yeah, I'm done.
Sorry, so I did. I rewatched Waiting this week. That's why I forgot, because it was just kind of on in the background. I really, really liked that movie. And then I did get a new TV for my basement. So I went to my go-to now, what I've been doing with every new TV, 6 Underground. So I was watching that, and then I was watching, this TV it's 4K, and it has 120 hertz, and it has Dolby Vision, and a lot of Netflix's originals have Dolby Vision, so it just is like it's kind of crazy how it changes it, so it just perfects it, and the TV has all these different mini LEDs. There's like tens of thousands of them. So the black levels are black. Like if it's supposed to be black, it's black. It's really nice. So I watched,
like AMC Dolby, like that experience.
No, Dolby Vision is like Dolby did audio, Dolby did surround sound. So now they're doing things with digital imaging. So they're basically making like, the panel can take it, and it just more or less makes it like the best possible picture, optimizes it. So it's a cool little function. So I watched that, and then I was watching some of Our Planet. I introduced that to my daughter this morning. She was freaking out. And then I feel like I don't know enough about Brent, so I watched Hillbilly Elegy on Netflix, just so I could kind of understand how we can connect better as friends.
That movie has nothing to do with me.
I thought it was exactly
spot on.
Yeah,
I know
Too close to home,
I know you
like
think
Logan Lucky.
I know you think that's funny. I'm not a fan of that joke.
It's in my queue. If you don't believe me, I watched it. I'll show you my watch activity.
No, I believe that you watched it. I just
I didn't finish it.
Not a fan, personally.
I just started it so that I could say that.
Watch like 10 minutes of it.
Yep, exactly.
All right, fair enough. All right, you guys ready for some movie news?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cindy, the news is on.
Insightful.
Good news.
If the headline is big enough, it makes the news big enough.
Timely.
The news goes on for 24 hours a day.
Well prepared.
You like Huey Lewis on the news?
Well, I got some bad news for you.
Do you want the Aladdin news or the Aladdin news?
The Aladdin news?
This is movie news.
All right. We have a lot of news stories, but since my stuff is messing up and it's a holiday week, I don't really want to spend a ton of time talking about all of them, so we're just going to go through them, and we'll give some thoughts. Deadpool 3, that we were a little concerned about whether or not the move to Disney might stop Deadpool movies from happening in the future. Deadpool 3 is officially in development with Marvel Studios. So it looks like we're getting Ryan Reynolds and the foul-mouthed Merc with Marvel. I don't know if it'll be a part of the MCU. They said it's with Marvel Studios. I mean, I don't know. Are we looking at a case where... Hold on. Are we looking at a case where it's like a New Mutants type of deal where it's not connected to the full MCU? Is Marvel going to start doing movies like that don't have anything to do with the MCU? What do you guys think?
It's going to be interesting to see because I don't see Disney doing rated R Deadpool. And then if they're not, then what does Deadpool look like if it's not rated R? And then on top of that, if they do Deadpool and link him to the MCU, does that mean the X-Men are also... it would be weird that the first mutant in the MCU is Deadpool. So, I could honestly see them letting Deadpool stay in his own little world, for now until they figure out. Because, I think Feige has said that that mutants aren't going to be joining the MCU for a while.
Yeah.
So I could see Deadpool's just his own thing.
Okay. Dawson?
I don't know. I think we might get to a point where Disney could eventually make a R-rated movie. When you acquire every studio under the sun, you have to continue to make some of those things that people like, right? Like if you own half of the studios that make big movies, you have to make big movies that everyone enjoys. So I think at some point they're going to have to branch out, even if they do maybe if they make it a new Marvel Studios something, so it has
subsidiary.
A different, yeah, like it's Marvel Studio Dark or something. I don't know. And then that's the more because we're going to get Blade. If there's not going to be people getting heads cut off in Blade, I don't know what we're doing. Right? Like that's good. That has to be a violent movie, right?
It should be.
It should be. So I got to feel like that's going to be rated R. So I feel like we're going to get to a point where they're going to have to do them.
I would think so, but after seeing what they did with Mulan and how non-violent that violent movie was, I can see them pulling some creative directing thing.
That's a Disney princess movie. It's not
like,
necessarily
well, but still, but like it was violent, but not because all the violence happened like, like a sword would come down and somebody would just be on the ground type of stuff.
Yeah, but
because that's for everyone. Like
you can't compare a Deadpool or a Blade to a Mulan. Like that's completely different leagues.
But also, like you could have. I mean, there's a lot of violence in like all the Avengers movies that aren't necessarily. I could see a non-rated R Blade. I think that's an easier swallow than a non-rated R Deadpool.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think so. I mean, you cut their head off and it explodes into dust or whatever. Yeah. It's not that hard. I mean,
I do want a rated R Blade though.
I do too. I definitely do as well.
If it's PG-13, I'm going to be so disappointed. What are we doing?
I don't know. We'll see. I think Deadpool will wind up being R because I think if they were going to try to take Deadpool PG-13, I think they just wouldn't do it. And I kind of don't think so. I don't think Ryan Reynolds would be on board with that.
Yeah.
That's sort of where I'm going because he has, say what you will about Ryan Reynolds and whether you like him or not, he has been a champion of that character. Ever since they fucked it up in the Wolverine movie, he's been like, we're going to do it and we're going to do it right. And I don't see him reverting back to like a bastardized version of Deadpool. They did that, the PG-13 version for Christmas or whatever, but that was sort of tongue in cheek. And I don't think they've
seen it. So I'd be kind of interested to see what that would look like. What does a PG-13 Deadpool look like?
Well, it was basically the same movie, except they would cut away from stuff and they literally bleeped F-bombs.
Oh, okay.
But they did it in a creative way. They figured out a way to do it that was entertaining. Actually,
it worked, version. Right?
For me, it worked. It wasn't as good as the regular version.
Sure.
But I got a kick out of some of the ways that they sort of got around the issues that you would have that make it an R-rated film. We've got a lot of other movies that are sort of in development. There's a new Predator movie in development. What is that? 5th or 6th Predator
I think
movie?
It's going to be the 5th in the Predator single franchise, but like the 7th because they did the 2 Alien vs. Predator movies. Mm-hmm. But I don't think those are, I don't know. Are they canon? Who knows?
So, are they, do you know, are they going to retcon anything out? Or is Predators still canon? Like, what are we doing here? Are we going to go back?
I've only heard rumors, and from what I understand, I think it's going to be a continuation of the Predator, the last Predator movie.
Okay.
And I've heard rumor that they're trying to bring Arnold Schwarzenegger back. That there's talk about bringing back Dutch from the original Predator. I hope that's not true. I hope it's not true.
Okay, devil's advocate. Why do you hope that's not true?
Because Schwarzenegger, I don't want Schwarzenegger to be trying to save these dead franchises, and I just, I think I love Arnold Schwarzenegger, but he shows his age. He's an old dude, and he can't be what I think a Predator. If a Predator can be killed by a damn near 80-year-old dude, what are we doing here? What's that all about?
It's not just any 80-year-old dude.
It's still.
I mean, all good points.
Senior citizens shouldn't be murking predators, is what I'm saying.
All good points. All good points.
Maybe he wouldn't have to be. Maybe he would be training an elite squad of predator killers because he's the only one who could do it, and he's too old for this shit.
What is he, Danny Glover all of a sudden?
Danny
He
Glover.
is now, yeah.
Speaking of Arnold Schwarzenegger, our review for next week is going to be The Running Man. So,
Happy Thanksgiving, baby.
so
Are we doing that Friday?
Yes.
Because it's Thanksgiving?
Yes.
Okay.
Friday, we're doing the watch party, and then next week, the review, The Running Man. Get ready, bitches. Get ready. Also,
I hope
another...
you leave enough room in your stomach.
Another movie in the works apparently is a Universal monster movie with a teaming up with Channing Tatum and Phil Lord and Chris Miller, who he did 21 and 22 Jump Street with. I think I'm the biggest Channing Tatum fan on the show. I think that he gets a bad rap from a lot of people because he did some stuff early in his career, and he's done romance movies, and he's done Step Up, and he's done Magic Mike. Like, everyone gives him a bad rap. I think he's actually kind of decent whenever he gets something he can really work with. But I'm interested to see what him and Phil Lord and Chris Miller in particular can do with a Universal monster movie. They didn't say which one, and they said it was sort of like a reimagining of whatever monster it is. So, I don't know. I'm interested. I like the Universal monsters, but even more so than that, it sort of seems like, you know, regardless of what they do, it's potentially kind of a big property to have that team back together with. And I really love those Jump Street movies. Like, I think that they're brilliant on a level that people don't really give them credit for. Like, on paper, that movie should have never worked, and it was A plus comedy.
It was, yeah.
So, I'm excited to see what they have cooked up for this movie, regardless of what it is. Reggie?
I don't know if you heard this or not, but I heard that the monster movie thing that they're gonna do might tie into 21 Jump Street, because from what I heard, that the next Men in Black movie was supposed to have been a tie-in with 21 Jump Street, and since that didn't happen, they were gonna do that, but with monster movie, the Universal monsters.
So I do remember the 21 Jump Street Men in Black crossover that we were supposed to get, and they sort of dropped it because they said that the two franchises weren't really as compatible as they had hoped they would be. They couldn't quite make it work. So,
Which is funny considering Men in Black International felt exactly like it would have fit in.
I don't want to sully Jump Street with Men in Black International. Get out of here.
No. What I mean, I'm not saying that they're on the same level. They're not. Men in Black International was garbage, but I felt like it was more comedic than the other Men in Black, so it kind of felt like they could have. I feel like they could have made that work.
Do you remember the other Men in Blacks? They're like huge comedy. Like, that's a big part of those movies.
Later ones.
No,
the third one.
the
But
first.
I don't think the first one. I mean, the first one had comedic moments, but I wouldn't call it a comedy.
I would 100% call it a comedy.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
That's a sci-fi comedy. It's definitely a comedy.
I think you guys came up with a good idea for a cutting room floor episode.
Mashups.
Mashups that you want to see happen. And you
Remix! You know what?
And I'm really here for it.
Black Panther 2 is going to start filming in July of next year. What are they going to do with this franchise moving forward? Now that Chadwick Boseman's unfortunately not there.
Yeah. This is what I think they should do. And I hate that I don't know, we just seem to be in a place where we don't feel like it's okay to recast people because an actor died. I wish we could get past that, because it's sad and horrible that Chadwick Boseman died, but that I think it does a disservice to all the people who are fans of Black Panther and stuff that we're not going to see Black Panther or T'Challa in the foreseeable future, because that character has meant so much to so many people, to finally see it on the screen and then now it's on the shelf because this unfortunate thing happened. I think that really sucks, and they ought to, in my opinion, they should just recast him. I think what they're going to end up doing is probably some story where Shuri ends up being the Black Panther at the end of the movie, which is, kind of canon for comics and everything, but still, it still sucks that I mean, it's different maybe for Paul Walker and like the Fast and the Furious, but like, God forbid Chris Evans dies. So what? There's like no. Well, that's different, I guess. But like, you know what I mean. Like God forbid Tom Holland has an accident, so that means no more Spider-Man. I think it's okay for us to have these feelings and love this actor, and still be able to move on to,
Yeah, I agree with you on some level, but I do think that I don't know that it's absolutely necessary, because, the Black Panther itself has, even in the first movie, they set up the story, that people can challenge for the role of King, and
right.
Black Panther could be transferred. And I think that character in particular could have just as much power with another character being Black Panther other than T'Challa. You brought up Shuri. I think that there's potential. Marvel has a lot of strong women in it, but there's potential for Shuri to be a strong Black woman, which Marvel doesn't have a lot of. So I think that there's still potential there for a character that can really mean something to a lot of people without necessarily recasting Chadwick Boseman's role. I don't think you have to do that in order for it to still have the same impact that particular portion of the MCU has had for people.
And I agree with that too. I don't know. Because I think Shuri was always going to end up the Black Panther, and like this, whatever they had planned for Black Panther is just the film that I got. But I guess it's just going to happen sooner, which is also cool.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely opportunities that they can take moving forward with that. I think it's going to be really interesting to see not only where they go with that movie, but also how that ties into the rest of the MCU moving forward. We're gonna in our cutting room floor this week, we're gonna talk about predictions for the future in movies. A year down the line, 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, or whatever. One of the things I want to ask you, and I guess this would preclude us from doing that in that episode, is what does the MCU look like moving forward? Now that they've spent 23 movies building towards Infinity War and Endgame, do they not necessarily start from the ground up and rework it all, but do they spend another 15, 20 movies building to the next major event?
I just assume that's what they're going to do. I mean, because that's how comics do, They have one big event, then the ramifications of that event, then a build up to the next big event. And I think especially, I think it really works well with comics because unless you're a comic collector who gets fatigued by events, which is, I think happens a lot, but you have with this new phase, it's going to be a bunch of heroes that look like people who we haven't seen before. A lot of diversity. So, the fact that we have Shang-Chi, like an Asian superhero that's going to be leading the charge, Blade, whatever they do with Black Panther. The Immortals is it? No, not Immortals. Eternals. Yeah, chock full of like just diversity. So it's going to be real interesting to see where they go from there. And then, of course, you build up to another big event. I bet though that event is not going to be as far away as like Infinity War was from like Iron Man though.
Yeah, I could see him doing a smaller cycle just to kickstart, because I I don't think we're that far away from mutants, but I don't think they're gonna necessarily shoehorn them in to this next little phase. So maybe we'll get like a 12 movie arc instead of a 23 movie arc.
So a 2-phase cycle as opposed to a 4-phase. Okay.
Yeah, and then maybe it is something that ties in somehow the mutants in, because I think that's gonna maybe kick in with WandaVision. That's kind of one of the thought processes there, that mutants are going to get slowly introduced there. Mm-hmm. So we'll see what happens.
We got a couple of other movies in the pipeline that star Marvel actors moving away from the Marvel Cinematic Universe to do some stuff. We've got the first trailer for Chaos Walking, which is Tom Holland and Daisy Ridley's weird sci-fi movie. I don't really know what it's about, but it looks like something that I would be interested in. Did you guys see that trailer by chance?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
What'd you think about it?
It looks interesting.
Yeah. Something different.
I'll say this. You see something like that, it's best to stay away from the internet because they will ruin it for you. I saw all I saw afterwards was all these people like, this movie has been in development hell for 3 years and it's not going to be as good. That didn't happen in the book. And I was like, okay, let me
it's a book.
Stay away from that.
It's a book. Okay. Good to know. Good to know.
A young adult novel, apparently.
Is it a series? Are we going to get Chaos Walking : part 1 and 2 down the line or something?
No, because this movie won't make any money, and then
I bet you this movie does really well, and then we get Chaos Running or Chaos Jogging.
Ooh.
Chaos Trotting.
Chaos Crawling is the prequel.
Chaos Hop, Skip, and a Jump.
Another Marvel actor moving to a movie outside of Marvel. Chris Hemsworth has talked about not only doing Extraction 2, but an additional, maybe a couple of sequels. So maybe we'll get Extraction 3 with Netflix. But the one I'm most excited about is the biopic that he's doing, brother. He's playing Hulk Hogan, and there are some pictures out of Chris Hemsworth this week where he is looking exceptionally jacked. Almost, dare I say, unnaturally jacked.
He's huge.
Massive. And it doesn't... I've seen what Chris Hemsworth looked like just 7-8 years ago, right? I don't know that you can go... I know that people can build a lot of muscle, right? I just don't know if your arms can go from that to that without the help of an additional factor other than exercise and diet. I know he has the best fitness and weight trainers and dietitians. Like, he's got all the best that work with him for those Marvel movies. But Reggie, I don't know if you've seen this. His arms are bigger than Hulk Hogan's arms were.
I'm looking at some stuff now.
Hogan had 22-inch pythons.
These are every bit of 22.5 inches. Fatter pythons than Hulk Hogan, I think. They looked huge. Maybe it's camera tricks. I don't know. But those arms look massive.
It does. It looks really weird. But it also could be he's pushing a tire, so he could be full flex for every muscle.
Yeah, but there's also other pictures of his arms in that same Hulk Hogan tweeted them out, and it's just like not pushing, and it's like 3 of my arm. It's crazy. It's insane. So I don't know what Chris Hemsworth's got going on over there. I'm not accusing him of anything. I'm just saying that if he did that naturally, that is insanely impressive. Dedication for an act, I guess.
And he looks humongous.
I know, right? Just if you're listening at home, Google Chris Hemsworth's arms. Just Google it up. Maybe block aside your evening. Get your tissues. What? I'm sorry. Moving on.
You know what's crazy about this? I know we should move on. But But like, if you go to his Instagram with the picture of him pushing the tire, you look at that arm, and then like 2 pictures down is just, I guess, just him on vacation with his wife or whatever. And it had to have been before he started training, and it's like his arms got like 3 sizes. Like, it's the transformation is amazing. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, but I think you guys are also underestimating how big Hogan was.
No, I'm not underestimating it. I'm just saying that that's amazing that the human body that you could do something like that with the human body.
I mean, how many inches you think that is, Dawson? Hemsworth is.
Here, look at that picture. I just put in the chat. It's a full-on Hulk Hogan, probably at his peak physical shape. Those arms are huge.
Yeah, but I would like to see Hemsworth next to that.
I bet you they're probably pretty close.
It's crazy, right?
I think we're used to seeing, because like, look at Hemsworth when he was in Vacation. He was just a normal dude. I mean, he was like really lean. Even like Thor, he got pretty jacked, but like, this is just
otherworldly.
He's beefing up bigger for him, but I also think we always forget like how big like professional athletes are compared to actors.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, like we always forget, like, oh man, Tom Cruise is only 5'3", and like,
no, we don't. We don't forget that.
Okay, but we think about how, like, if you look at the rest of the Avengers, they're all under 6 feet. Besides the Chris's, like they're all under 5 feet. So we think, wow, they're so big. But then you think
they're not just
6'7".
Just to clarify, they're not under 5 feet. Everyone,
they're under 6 feet. Sorry, under 6 feet. I'm going on my tangent here, but like, Robert Downey Jr. is 5'7". Chris Evans is 6 foot. Like, Chris Pratt's like 5'10". Like, they're all shorter guys. Hogan's 6'6".
Oh yeah, he's massive. He's a massive human being.
He's huge.
Yeah, after seeing that transformation, it's like the opposite of Christian Bale for The Machinist. It's crazy how big he's getting. And you know, I don't know how exciting Hogan's life is going to be in a movie, but I'm excited to see Chris Hemsworth play Hogan. I'm excited to see Chris Hemsworth with the Hogan hairstyle. the bald head with the long blonde hair, like shoulder length blonde hair. I'm excited. I can't wait. Reggie, you put a story in here about Mads Mikkelsen replacing Johnny Depp.
Yeah, they finally. Yeah, basically, he's just going to replace Johnny Depp in the those Harry Potter movies that nobody seems to be able to see or something.
The Fantastic Beasts movies.
I've seen both of them.
You have?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I think I saw both of them in the theater.
Oh, really? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Did you like them?
They're okay. The second one was better than the first one.
You're a Potterhead, aren't you? You're a Potterhead.
Yeah, I've got wands around here somewhere.
Our last news story is about the James Bond movie. You know, we talked about it going potentially to streaming, and we talked about they were trying to sell it for $400 million to Netflix or to Apple TV Plus. Turns out the real number that they were seeking came out, and they were trying to sell the rights, the streaming rights, exclusive streaming rights, to Netflix or Apple TV Plus for $600 million. And that, my friends, is why 007 is going to wait and come out in theaters, whether it's in 2021 or 2027. Because if that's what they want, they're not getting it.
Which makes me wonder how much HBO Max had to pay for
Wonder Woman?
For Wonder Woman.
I don't know. I'm sure they paid a lot, but you know, the Bond
deal.
They,
because that's the same company. That's HBO Max is Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers made. So it's just them like shuffling it around. This is
you're right.
Sony making 007 or whatever MGM. So it's a little bit different.
Yeah. No, you're 100% right about that. That
just like
sense.
Disney putting Mulan, like Disney
True.
Hey, Disney.
Every once in a while, Dawson says something that makes complete sense.
And you're here for it now. Make sure you check out patreon.com. I'm there. I'm right there all the time.
That's a fact. All right. You guys ready for the box office?
Box office.
Box office.
Box office.
That's right. I'm skipping Scream news this week because the box office itself is scary enough.
Ooh.
You like that? Number one this week at the box office was that Vince Vaughn body switch horror movie Freaky. It did $1.2 million. Coming in second place. Actually, you know what? Before we do that, I just want to throw some numbers out here for you. Last weekend, the top 10 movies in the United States did $10.3 million combined. So they averaged $1 million each, the top 10. To put that in perspective, last year, oh no, wait, I got that number wrong. Sorry. 10.3 million was last week. This week, they made 5.3 million. So they averaged about $500,000 each. As I said, the top movie was $1.2 million. To put that in perspective, this same weekend last year, Frozen debuted at $130 million. So that tells you the state of the box office right now, which is another reason why Wonder Woman, which is coming out in just a month, is going to be on HBO Max as well. So number one was Freaky at 1.2 million. Number two was The War with Grandpa at 733,000. Number three. Who
the hell's going to see that still?
I know, right?
Guys. You're going to sit in the theater to go watch that shit? What are you doing?
People,
sorry.
These are people that aren't scared, Dawson.
I know, they're not scared.
We need to stop being scared.
They're not scared, but they're clearly stupid to go see that trash. So enjoy your fucking popcorn.
Getting COVID for Vince Vaughn?
In a horror role, or Robert De Niro in a comedy grandpa role? What?
I do want to see the Vince Vaughn movie. I want to see that. I'm interested in that. The War with Grandpa, there's not a chance. Let him go. Kevin Costner and Diane Lane fighting over custody of a kid. No, thank you. $710,000. Number 4, Come Play, which is a PG-13 horror movie. It did $550,000. And in 5th place, listen to this, the fucking Santa Claus with Tim Allen, $461,000. $461,000. That means a bunch of people took their fucking kids to the movie theater.
To see what movie?
The Santa Claus from 1994.
Oh, okay, okay. I was like, I thought he had a new one. I was like, okay.
No, bro. No. 1994 Christmas comedy, The Santa Claus.
I watched that on Disney Plus with my kid this week.
With no E, right? A clause. All right. But that was the box office for the weekend of
this one.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I'm not even sure what this is all supposed to mean. Like, what
are we doing here right now?
What are we doing here? We've been here for over 3 hours. All right, you guys ready for our feature presentation?
Yeah.
And now, our feature presentation.
Attack the Block. It's a movie from the UK from 2011, written and directed by Joe Cornish, starring John Boyega, Finn from Star Wars, if you're not familiar, Jodie Whittaker, who plays Sam in this movie.
The Doctor.
I was getting ready to say, Reggie, I believe she plays the Doctor on Doctor Who these days. And then a lot of people that most of you probably have not heard of. We have Alex Ismail, Leon Jones, and the other guy that you might know from something is Franz Drama. I believe, Reggie, he was in Legends of Tomorrow.
Yes, he plays the hero Firestorm. And he was also in The Gentleman.
Oh yeah. He was Benny.
He's
in The Gentleman. Yeah. So, but it's a lot of people that you don't know. Primarily, actually, I think wholly, a cast that's right there in the UK. Also, we have Nick Frost is in here as well. I forgot about him. But 2011 alien invasion movie with a bunch of kids. I had heard for a long time that this movie was good. Whenever John Boyega got cast as Finn in Star Wars, I knew nothing about him. And I just remember people saying, "Oh, that guy's in Attack the Block. That movie is awesome. You should watch it." And this was, when was that? Like 2014?
Yeah.
The Star Wars movie came out in 2015, 2014.
Right.
So it only took me 6 years to get around to watching it. It's been on my list for a long time. I bought it like 8 months ago, and I've been holding on to it because I knew that I was going to pick it as one of our reviews. And finally that day has come. Joe Cornish, the writer and director, he also has written quite a bit that you guys are familiar with. He did the screenplay for Ant-Man. He did The Adventures of Tintin, The Kid Who Would Be King. A lot of stuff that you all have heard of. I think he's also directed The Kid Who Would Be the King, or whatever that's called. I didn't see that movie. I know that it did decently well here in the States, but not huge. But I believe he's also a producer for a lot of those Simon Pegg movies.
Okay, that makes sense.
With Edgar Wright. I think he's sort of a partner, producing partner with Edgar Wright, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. So yeah, this is one that I've been meaning to get around to for a long time. And it's even a movie that, not having seen it, I continually bring up as like a comparison. Like, Reggie, you were talking about the vampires versus the Bronx. And I was like, oh yeah, is that movie like Attack the Block? Even though I'd never fucking seen Attack the Block. I don't even know what. Like, is that a good comparison for it? Because I heard that movie was good. Is it like that? So, I was excited to watch it. It's got like a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. So we sat down, watched it in Discord, and I have to say, initial reactions without going too in depth, I had a lot of fun watching this movie. It was a good time. And it's also very strange. British people and Americans, we speak the same language, but we do not speak the same language. There are words that mean completely different things over there. And they say words, I'm just like, I don't even know what that means. We allegedly speak the same language. It's not the same language. All right, Dawson, had you ever seen Attack the Block before this?
No, I haven't. I heard about it when we were talking sci-fi movies. I've heard about it like when we talk, John Boyega, everything there. But no, haven't seen it. I really didn't know what it was about besides an alien invasion movie. And yeah. But it was fun. I liked it. Doing some research on it. Got some really good intel here, so I can't wait to share with you guys on that. But no, it's I had fun. It was, monsters were cool. Some different looking things I haven't seen before, which I found out that a lot of those were they use CGI as little as possible. So there was a lot of alien suits, a lot of that's pretty cool. So.
That's a fact.
And Reggie, as the resident sci-fi guy, you're the only person on this podcast that had seen this movie prior to last week. So how long had it been since you watched it?
I'm sorry, what was that?
When did you first watch it?
Probably like the year it came out. I'm pretty sure I didn't see it in theaters. Yeah, I don't think I saw it in theaters. But I did see it like I heard about it, and then when I saw it, I may have 2011. Was I still going to Blockbuster or Hollywood Video? Maybe. I'm not sure. But
I don't think so.
Yeah, but I
don't think you would have been at that point. You probably were getting Netflix delivered to you.
Yeah, so that's probably what happened. I probably saw it through Netflix. But I remember seeing it because just hearing about how good it was. I was like, well, let me check this out. And it has a bunch of people in it that are, well, two people really that I know now, but Jodie Whittaker and John Boyega. But like, yeah, so I mean, it was one of those things. It's like, this is such a great movie, and I wish more people were talking about it. And then it kind of became a cult classic, and I was happy to see that. And like, I enjoyed it and watched it quite a few times.
So right off the bat, I thought I was gonna have a problem immediately with the way that the movie starts out, because we start off we're following Jodie Whittaker. She's walking down the street, and she's going to her car, and all of a sudden this group of this gang of teenagers, kids, come up and they rob her, and the leader of our group is John Boyega. And I'm just like, these little shits are not, I don't like them. They are not good people. And I'm supposed to be cheering for these guys. Like the people that I'm supposed to be cheering for, you're opening up the movie with them strong arming a woman. Yeah. I did not like that setup for the people that I was supposed to be rooting for. Now, as we go down the movie, the characters become redeemed, at least to some extent for some of them. And I then became okay with rooting for them. But really, for me, John Boyega is great in this. Jodie Whittaker is good. The kids as a whole, I like the group. I think that they're good together. I think they have good chemistry. The real winner for me in this is the guys in the suits playing the aliens, and the choice that they made to give the aliens these neon, like cyan glowing teeth. I don't know who decided that was going to be a good idea, but I applaud them, because I thought that it made the aliens, it almost made the aliens kind of fun. It made them, they were threatening in the sense that they could do a lot of damage, but they're also like, oh, look at the cute little aliens with their glowing blue teeth. It also added to, I don't know, intentionally or not, like, it was funny to me that they were so low tech. It was like Ninja Turtles all over again. Guys walking around in furry suits with glowing teeth. I thought I gave them an A+ for doing.
Uh-oh.
That didn't sound good.
Somebody's living a quarter mile at a time.
And I'm really here for it.
But it sort of made it okay. Like, you're having fun with these aliens and the kids. And while it's the subject matter is serious, it allows the movie to exist in this fun space where a lot of alien invasion movies, action sci-fi movies don't necessarily have that. They really just made this movie that I could sort of have just a blast with. And that's what I wanted out of it. Like, in the grand scheme of things, I've seen plenty of alien invasion movies. I've seen people fight aliens. I've seen kids fight creatures. I wanted something that I could have fun with. And the guys in the suits with the glowing teeth and the kids going back and forth with each other, there's a lot of fun to be had with this movie. I really enjoyed it. But right off the bat, I was concerned that I was not going to be cheering for these kids that I was supposed to be cheering for.
Yeah, I'm definitely with you, especially like right off the bat. I was like, man, why do these kids have to be thugs and stuff? You know, that sucks. But that being said, like, throughout the movie, you get some character development and you learn about them, which is fine. And I think maybe with a better writer, they would have done something more with that, you know, like maybe explain why they are the way they are instead of just, you know, they're thugs. Because there's at one point where they're like, well, if we had known you lived in the block, we went on and robbed you. And she was like, then that makes that okay? You know, and which is a good point, but they never really do anything with that. But that being said, like, as far as alien invasion movies go, like, this is fun because, again, it's just a bunch of kids trying to, protect their neighborhood, protect their block, and there's some hijinks that are just hilarious, especially dealing with the the drug dealer who's just like, he does not give two fucks about the alien invasion, doesn't believe it's happening, and even when he sees it happening, doesn't, all he cares about is that he was being disrespected. It's just like, things like that are just kind of funny. And then Nick Frost is just like, man, I'm just gonna get high and deal with this when it's over.
I love whenever they're in the elevator and the alien gets in there with them, and then it opens up and everyone's dead. There's blood all over the place. The drug dealer's got blood all over his face and body, and the kid standing outside the elevator, he just walks out. He's like, "You're gonna want to get the next one." Just walks past him. Right. I love that. It's little shit like that. It's just so, like, there's so much fun to be had. Yeah. Can I tell you one problem that I did have with the movie? They said the block approximately 87 times. And not once was the block preceded by the word attack. Fuck you, Joe Cornish. I just wanted to do my Leo gif one time.
Your Leo gif once?
Just one time.
Not today.
God damn. They said the block a shit ton. Not once. I don't even know if they said the word attack in the movie, let alone attack the block. God.
Right?
God.
Not today.
Dawson, what were what's some high points for you, I guess? And we're gonna keep this brief this week, I think.
Yeah, no, I mean, you guys have covered a lot of this. I thought it was fun. You obviously have the kids, and it has a Stranger Things type of vibe a little bit, and I like that just a little bit, right? Because it's the kids fighting back. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, it was overall a fun movie. It was a good change up from the last couple of weeks that we had, where they were all kind of bummers. Yeah, I just it was fun. I'd say watch it for sure.
Yeah, dude, this is coming off the heels of Johnny Mnemonic and The Killing Joke and Peninsula and The Monster Squad. Like, we've had a rough month. We're getting Stella got her groove back this week,
Trying.
And we got The Running Man next week. I don't know what we had the week after that.
And then back with that one.
And then we got Jingle Jangle.
It's going to be excellent. Everyone's going to love
it. Man, but yeah, like I said, it's a holiday week. We never debated on whether or not we were going to put out a show, but I think we're going to keep this one on the shorter end this week. I know everyone has, well, you know what? I was going to say everyone has a lot to do. Everyone has families to be with, but I think there's probably a lot of people that aren't doing holiday stuff. So maybe they'll be excited to have an opportunity to listen to us. Well, this is going to be post.
Yeah, I was going to say, this isn't even coming out.
See, it's this weird thing now. Now that we're not reviewing new movies, we're recording and then the episode's not getting released for like 4 days. So even though we're recording before Thanksgiving, it's going to be after the Thanksgiving weekend. So what do you want from us? What do you want from us?
You could release it early and then they don't get one next week, but
nah. I have a track record to uphold. Okay. You can expect that Cinema Chat podcast episode every Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern time. Okay, 5 p.m. Eastern time. But yeah, no, it's a ton of fun. I don't have a lot of issues with it, other than the fact that they start off with them being unlikable characters and they have to work their way up from that. I'd rather have them start in less of a hole, I guess. I'm okay with them having, flaws and not being perfect protagonists. That's fine. I just don't, they kind of put them in a real deep hole right from the jump. So I didn't care for that, but really otherwise, I don't have a lot of complaints. It's kind of a low, but I don't know what the budget is on this. Dawson, can you look up the budget?
Yeah. It was shot in 67 days, $13 million budget. And it grossed, $13 million. It grossed $1 million in the United States and $6 million cumulative worldwide gross.
That sucks.
Yep.
You know, I don't know what I was expecting, but I feel like 13 million is higher than I actually even thought that it would.
It's just it's estimated, so it's not an official.
Yeah, but I mean, it's probably pretty close. That's higher than I would have thought, honestly. But I guess there's some CGI, and practical effects are not necessarily always cheap. So,
did you guys know why there were so many fireworks going off during this movie?
I have a feeling you're going to tell me.
Oh, so you didn't know? Okay, cool. I was making sure. It was it's actually Bonfire Day, the night this takes place, which is also Guy Fawkes Day, November 5th.
Guy Fawkes Day.
Oh,
isn't that crazy?
And that's a fact.
That's a fact.
Interesting. Remember.
That's right.
All right. I liked whenever the kids went to go get all their weapons, and one of them's got like a machete, and there's a baseball bat, and there's a knife, and that one kid has like a backpack filled with giant fireworks.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, a lot of fun. Was there? So the alien comes down right from the beginning, right? And he bites John Boyega's character, and John Boyega promptly decides, I'm going to kill that animal. Which, if something falls from the sky through the roof of a car, makes a giant hole in the car, jumps out of the car and fucks my arm up and runs away. I don't know about you guys. My initial reaction is like, holy fuck, stay away from that thing. My response is not like, I'm going to go kill that. What about you guys?
He's a gangster.
I mean,
he's hard.
I guess that's not why they don't call me Brent from the block.
Right.
For that reason, I guess. I'm just not built that way. I'm not going after the animal that attacked me. I'm the guy. I'm the guy in the mountain lion video that's walking away backwards, like, hey, whoa, stay away.
Yeah. I mean, not only that, but you don't know what you're dealing with. I mean, it survived falling from space. I don't know what else it can survive.
Through your car.
And then, like, just from a practical standpoint, do you really want to, the first contact and the first act of first contact to be violence? What if that's like their ambassador?
Yeah, dude. And I guess those the aliens, after he kills it, come down to Earth, and he has its pheromones on him, so it's just they're coming for him hard,
right?
And only him. They only give a fuck about him, and whoever winds up in his immediate vicinity.
Yeah.
I liked all the kids. I liked, at one point they make it into an apartment, and there's a couple of, girls. I thought that they were good too. Like, they found a good group of, I call them kids. I mean, John Boyega was probably 20 years old whenever he made this. Probably somewhere around that range.
Something like that.
But some of the other ones looked like they were, I don't know, 14, 15, probably. So, I mean, they're teenagers. They're older kids, really. But
yeah, and he's playing a younger person, too.
Yeah, I think the character he was playing was 15.
Right.
But he was born in 92, so he would have been 19 whenever they made this. Somewhere in that range, 19. Playing a 15-year-old. It's not unheard of. He doesn't look 15. I'll tell you that.
No, not at all.
But yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. Guys in monster suits with glowing teeth, and kids talking shit to each other. and everyone has a British accent, which immediately makes it more fun, right?
It's always more fun. Always.
Do you like Dags? You like Dags? But yeah, I had a good time with it. Dawson, if we're going to give our scores, what would you give Attack the Block?
I'd give it a 7. I think it's just a fun, good movie to watch. It's not too long, so you're not invested for 2 hours. It's only like an hour and 20 minutes long, so it's not bad. Yeah, it's just a fun little watch. So check it out.
Good call on the duration. It is technically an hour and 28 minutes, but credits and all that shit. Less than an hour and a half anyway. Mm-hmm. Very breezy, very quick. Reggie, what would be your score?
I would I'd give it an 8. Yeah, I have a lot of fun with it. I always, going back to it, it's still fun. I think it still holds up, and I like that it's a small story, Mm-hmm. And I agree with you that I wish the kids weren't in such a hole at the beginning. But aside from that, it's a fun story.
Yeah, I like your 8. I'm gonna match your 8. And I like, Reggie, you mentioned it was a contained story. It's contained both in time, not the runtime of the movie, but it all takes place over the course of just a few hours. It's also geographically a small story. It's centered around the block, which is a very small area. There's not a lot that you can do for the characters in that short period of time, which is why I don't love that they start them off in that hole, but all in all, I've said it a half a dozen times at least. It's a fun movie. I had a lot of fun with it. I don't know if that 8 is based on the fact that I've given a 3, a 3, a 2, a 2.5 in the last 4 weeks. But I had a lot of fun, and I was glad that we sort of bounced back and watched something that was actually good this week. I would completely recommend Attack the Block to everyone.
And I'm really here for it.
So yeah. I probably won't use that one as much as I have tonight. You got parents and stuff? Next week we're going to be doing The Running Man, Arnold Schwarzenegger. So join us for that. I hope that, I know you're listening to this on Sunday, but I hope that everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving, whether or not you got to see family and mingle with people. Hopefully everyone had a great holiday. As always, we at Cinema Chat, we love our listeners. We're here for you. We do this show not only because it's fun for us, but we do it because it's fun for you.
Sometimes it's fun for you.
We love you guys.
Maybe one day we'll get Kevin Smith to come on.
Dude,
I thought we had it. I thought the reel was out, and he was starting to like him, and he was liking him, and then you got him, and he liked it, and I'm like, it's gonna happen, and then it was dead. It was radio silence.
Yeah, I think
like, maybe he DM'd you, but you didn't say anything, and then
I think shit got too real. I think he was liking some tweets that were complimentary and fun, and he's like, oh yeah, these people, they like my movie, they like me, I'll like a tweet, and then we're like, progressively like, he could come on, we could have him on, and we could promote this pop-up movies before it comes out. I'll have him on I'll drop everything for Kevin Smith, and the likes stopped. So I think,
and then he looked at it and he's like, oh yeah, you know what, the movie sold out in an hour and a half or a day and a half, so I don't need to go on some no-name podcast and a really good podcast and do a promotion for it.
I thought it was good. You were like, we could promote movies. I'm like, yeah, we're really big in Minnesota. So, Minnesota has our 3rd highest amount of downloads.
Really?
Just so you know.
Come in.
California, Kentucky, Minnesota. That's the 3 states that have the highest amount of downloads. So you other 47, get the fuck with it. Hey, if you're out there and you're listening to this podcast and you enjoy it, tell a friend. Get a friend. Leave a review on iTunes. When was the last time I asked anyone to leave an iTunes review? I like seeing that. We haven't had one for quite a while. Probably because we don't mention, hey, go put an iTunes review in. But I want at least one person to leave an iTunes review this week. And I'll read it on the show. One person.
Rotten Tomatoes certification is still pending.
We need... How many do we need? How many reviews? 1,000 reviews?
Yeah, something like... No, it was like 200.
We have 7, I think. So I'm starting the campaign now. I just need one person this week, and I'll read it on the show, and we'll go from there. We're gonna work on it. We're gonna get there. And my goal is 2024 Rotten Tomatoes.
Rotten Tomatoes
reviewer. Cinema Chat podcast. We're gonna be like, look, we got 450 episodes. Like,
hey, Kevin Smith, you can't turn us down now. I'll bash you. I'll give your movie.
Yeah,
official tomato meter interview.
Fucking Mallrats 2. I don't think so. Fuck that movie. No, I couldn't do that.
And of course, follow Cinema Chat on Parler.
Oh man, leave my social security number, get out there again.
That's a joke.
Again.
We're not verified yet.
All right. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you guys again next week. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
You don't need to follow me. You don't need to follow anybody.
But you can follow us. I'm Brent, and I am...
Ed's not Malcolm.
And he's Rob, and he's...
Rob 1.
There's also Reggie, who is...
Hit dog.
We can't forget about Dawson at...
Andy!
Underscore Dawson.
Don't forget to follow the podcast at Cinema Chat Pod on Twitter. And check out our website, cinemachatpodcast.podbean.com.
I'm following you now. I'm just going to follow you everywhere. I'm just going to follow you the rest of my life.
Thanks, Peter. Now, if the rest of you would get off your ass and follow us, that would be great.
Mail, motherfucker!
Oh, and don't forget to send your emails to cinemachatpod@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Please, send us something. Have a good week, everyone. Goodbye.
People are going to think that we really have a Parler account.
What if we were big on Parler secretly? Would we have to start reviewing movies like Left Behind?
Would we have to be excited about getting like James Wood on our show?
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.